Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Fall Out Boy's 2007 album, Infinity on High. It is pretty great. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks added to my playlist, 11 out of 14, so all of them but 3. This album is pretty great. The style is pop rock with some extra elements of punk and some other rock subgenres. It leans much more into the hard rock side of things, but still has some pretty traditional sounding pop songs. There's a couple of songs here which sound like sort of Lost Train or Bare Naked Ladies songs, which is a bit of a shift from Fall Out Boy's previous work, which it was pretty distinct actually for the sort of era. Still, most of the songs here are pretty good, and there's at least one huge hit, which is great. We love to see it. The album flows really well, unlike their other albums. There's finally enough variety and speed that they can get some really interesting contrasts. The first couple of tracks are all pretty high energy, but they managed to slow it down slightly with Hum Hallelujah and Golden, which flow perfectly into Thanks for the Memories and the following tracks there. Once you get to the Carpal Tunnel of Love, it falls off a bit, but manages to bring it back at the end with the final two tracks running together pretty nicely. Definitely a great album. It lacks distinctness, but makes up for it in variety and in sort of intentional album construction. Plus, the quality is pretty consistent, so even the more boring sort of poppy songs don't hurt the album at all, really. They just are sort of another step in the flow of the album. There were 2 singles released before the album, The Carpal Tunnel of Love and This Ain't a Scene, It's an Arms Race. That second one may have been on the radio a bit, but the big hit here is track 7, Thanks for the Memories, spelled without vowels. But that one is incredible and still played on the radio to this day. My favorite song here is definitely that one. Thanks for the Memories is easily the best song here, merging their sort of pop sounds with their hard rock style. For a non-hit song, I think I'd probably go with You're Crashing But You're No Wave, but Thanks for the Memories kind of blows everything else out of the water on this album. I rank this album better than their first 2, although the sound on this one is kind of different. Their first 2 albums are mostly just rock with some extra pop elements, while this one is kind of the other side of it, more pop with rock elements, maybe half and half. This album probably does have more variety than From Under the Cork Tree, and definitely flows a lot better than either of their other albums. It's kind of got actual stuff to flow around. It's not a significant improvement from 2005, but it's a tad bit better in my opinion, so it goes on the top of the rankings. Additionally, this album doesn't take my top spot from 2007. That stays with Maroon 5's It Won't Be Soon Before Long, which kind of does everything Infinity on High wants to do, but better. It flows better, it sort of melds the pop and rock sounds better, and it's definitely more distinct and sounds more like Maroon 5 than Fall Out Boy. Still, Infinity on High is probably the strongest competitor for the year so far, so that's pretty impressive, and it's kind of a toss-up right now whether I like Fall Out Boy or Maroon 5 better, so this is still a contested spot, although I think It Won't Be Soon Before Long is just better here, so thank you for watching. Next up is Pink's 2019 album, Beautiful Trauma. It's not great, but there are some tracks on it that are worth hearing, so stay tuned for that, and as always, stay minty.